Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Manly Minor League Baseball, coming to you live from Aquatic Ballpark. The first of our triple header here this afternoon. It's round 15, second last round of the regular season. Leading off today is the Manly Futures against the Pittwater Marlins. It's a battle of 5th versus 6th. The Manly Futures looking for their first win of the season. Pittwater looking to win and keep their season alive. That ball hit to high in the left field, and it's going to bounce fair and stay in play. The third baseman over there lost it, much like I did the other week. Looking straight into the sun and lost the ball. Looks like he's saying the same thing. It looks like Ryan Ego over there at third base. Just got to work out what cameras we're using today. Not that one. 6 and 8. 2 and 3. 1 and 2. Very good. All right. A little bit different to usual. New vantage point today. We are down on top of the hill. A little bit better of a view. A little bit closer to the action. And it's Parish Custang batting for the Marlins side. No out. Runner on 1 on the mound for the Manly Futures side is Ruben Chippick. That ball punched into centre field, or just to second base. We're going to have a play over at first, and he's going to be out. So great defence there by the Manly Futures side. Second baseman making the catch and then firing over to his coach, Sean Shivers, for the out. So the drop fly ball at third base being erased on the double play over at first. And it's 2 quick outs for Ruben Chippick and the Manly Futures side. Futures 10 games played, no wins and 10 losses so far. Pittwater Marlins 3 wins, 4 losses and a draw, sitting in 5th spot. They are 0.06 of a percentage point behind, 0.6 of a percentage point behind the Big Dogs, who are up next against the Forest Met. So it's 5th versus 6th, 3rd versus 4th, and 1st versus 2nd today. It's almost like a little bit of a semi-final system in play today, but semi's 2 weeks away still. And that is a single up the middle for Gary Coggan. 2 out single, runners on first and second now. Runner on first with 2 out now for the Pittwater Marlins. And it's going to bring up Eric Mina, that's it, yep. Eric Mina for the Pittwater side. Starting pitcher. Ripped to third base, in play. Knocks it down, knocks it out of play. Doesn't have a throw, might have had a throw at first. Eric Mina not the fastest bloke up the baseline. So he'll be aboard with a hit. So a couple of 2 out singles here for the Marlins side. 0-0 ball game here in the bottom of the second. So I'm just catching up. I had to make a quick dash down to the shop and buy an extra cable after one of our cables was faulty during the setup. I'll bring you both the lineups in between innings here. Back to the top of the lineup, and it's Ross Colin for the Marlins. Swings and misses at that one. 1 ball and 1 strike now for the Marlins leadoff. Very warm earlier. 1 ball and 2 strikes, in fact. That's in there for strike 3. So that'll finish the bottom of the second. We're 2 complete on the Procar Automotive scoreboard. Pittwater Marlins 0, Manly Futures 0. We'll bring you the lineups for both sides. Ross Collin there striking out. He's at second base. Liam Spinks is the shortstop. David Spence is at third base. Dan Cox in centre field. Will Shaffers Welsh is in right field. Ricky Buchter in left field. Parish Custang is the catcher. Gary Coggan at first base and Eric Mina the pitcher. And for the Manly Futures, Ben Richards leading off. He's doing the catching. Jordan Nickerson is at shortstop. Ryan Ego is at third base. Troy Withnall is the left fielder. Ben Patfield in centre field. Miles Russell at second base. Nice double play turned by him. Will Delane in right field. Ruben Chippick on the mound. And Sean Shivers at first base for the Futures. So after the 2 innings, Pittwater 0, Manly 0 on the Procar Automotive scoreboard. So on the mound, sorry, not on the mound. He is the pitcher, but he's now doing the hitting. Is the pitcher for the Futures. It's Ruben Chippick. Couple of clean innings for him so far to start this game. Fouls that one off high, but deep enough that Parish Custang can't get back to catch it. So the EBSN derby is on at 4 p.m. this afternoon. Game of the round, third versus fourth. Serious ramifications for teams in third, fourth and fifth today if they do lose. Really shakes up things heading into the final week with the Forest Mets to face the Forest Renegades in the last round.
Easy win for the Mets.
The big dogs taking on the Futures. And the Marlins taking on the Redbucks. But we'll focus on these games today. And we'll bring you all the connotations following the Redbucks Renegades game tonight. That game getting underway at 6:30. Ruben Chippick pulls that one through the left side. Liam Spinks doesn't get to it. It'll be the third baseman. Safe at first. No, he's called him out. Bang, bang play over at first. We were saying safe. Eric Mina, the pitcher, even signals safe. But the field umpire, Blake Brown, from the Big Dogs, has called it out. So first out here in the top of the third. And I'll bring up the lefty, Sean Shivers. non-team player.
Oh, really?
Being borrowed from the Renegades. He's a member of the Renegades. So effectively a non-team player to Gary Coggan, although he's fielding at first base.
Yeah, non-team player can play infield.
Can play infield.
Just
can't
can't
pitch.
Or not certain about catching, but he definitely can't pitch.
Copy that. They've changed the rules in the last couple of years. Normally you can only play in the outfield.
Yes.
I'm going to change that camera around.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No, I mean where it is on here.
Oh, right.
Like you're going to want to go 7, but there's nothing on 7. Eric Mina now. Back to the top of the order for the Futures. Ben Richards, the catcher, tried to turn himself in front of that ball, but wasn't able to get close enough. Eric Mina saw him try and drop the elbow in front of it, so interesting discussion there if it did make contact with him. Swing and miss at that one. 1 ball and 1 strike now. Good afternoon to everyone again watching online. Feel free to send us a message if you've got any questions. We'll try and get them answered for you. This game, a 2-hour game, as Ben Richards lifts that one high into left field. Long run for both the outfielders. It's going to get over the top of the left fielder who will pick it up, throw it back into Liam Spinks at shortstop. It's going to be a 1-out double for Ben Richards. Stands up over there at second base. Good piece of hitting by the Manly Futures leadoff hitter. Long run for the left fielder out there.
We're going to be hearing about that hit for the next month, I reckon.
Maybe the next 12 months, I reckon.
Yeah. Thankfully, the off-season's coming up, so.
Sure we'll find a way to remind us. In there for strike 1. Jordan Nicholson, the shortstop. Few players missing for this Futures side, being called up to the Manly under-18s team. Eagles State League playing out at Chipping Norton today. The 18s going down 4-2 in their penultimate game of the season. Back here next week for round 18 against the local rivals, the Ride Hawks. Big day here next Saturday. Final day of the season. That pitch just missing outside. Eric Mina thought it was good. But Big Dog's plate umpire Todd Smith says no. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes now for Jordan Nicholson. Throws the same pitch but gets it a little bit closer. Jordan Nicholson able to get a piece on it. Fouls it off to the back screen. Can remain 1 and 2. We will have some guest commentators in here for the Futures versus Big Dogs game.
You want to say that again? Not Futures versus Big Dogs.
The Mets versus Big Dogs. Don't know what to do without you by my side. Quality control officer over there, Andrew Logue. Swings and misses at that one, Jordan Nicholson, and that is the 3rd out. So it was a 2-out single for Ben Richards, not a 1-out single, and then Jordan Nicholson goes down on strikes. So after the top of the 3rd, we are 0-0 as we head to the bottom. So a bit of action here in the bottom of the third inning. Liam Spinks with the lead-off triple. And then he's brought in on the fly ball from Dan Cox. Will Sheffers Welsh draws the walk. So 2-out walk for the Pittwater Marlins. They've scored the first run here this afternoon. There's been a change for the Futures. Tom Van Vessem has come in to play first base. Sean Shivers out of the game. In there for strike 1 to Ricky Butka. I believe that's how we pronounce it. Sure, I'll find out later if it was wrong. Runner takes off on the hit and run. It's 2 out, so runner will keep going, but it's going to be caught out there by the right fielder, Will Delane. So nice little finish there for the Futures. They do give up the first run, so they will need to get the bats going when we come back with the top of the fourth inning.
So will be Ryan Ego to lead things off for the Futures. Striking out in his last at-bat. And Eric Mina fires that pitch in for strike 1. Or as much as Eric Mina can to fire it in. Ball hit into left field, just out of shot of our camera, or right on the edge. And the catch is made. They will bring up the left fielder, Troy Withrell. As he drills that to third base. Makes the throws. Apologies for the camera. We're just trying to fix one of our shots at the moment, which you'll probably see in a second. We almost had it. And then we had it got knocked down accidentally. There we go. Perfect. That should bring up Ben Patfield now, who is playing centre field today. Eric throws that one just wide. He drills that one at third base. Fumbled. Throw from the shortstop. Not in time. I've just lost one of my cameras. We moved it from camera 8 to camera 7. That's why I've lost it. We're all good now. Apologies for that. So it is 2 out. Ben Patfield making it to first base on that hard hit ground ball, and it does bring out the Forest Junior, Miles Russell. Made a cracker of a double play in the first dig.
Very well turned double play.
And he's also got one base hit in his last at bat, so he'll be looking to improve on that as well.
Swings and misses at strike one. Takes that in for strike two. So behind quickly here, 0-2. Fouls that one off. Keeps himself alive. Good catch by Dan Cox to retire. Troy Withnell had a lot of work to do to get back and underneath it. Two now to Miles Russell. Leaves the pitch on the outside corner. Good patience at the plate. Ben Patfield not able to advance to second. Parish Custane knocking it down and keeping it close. Eric Mina looking for a strike to finish his top of the fourth. Pulls that one on the ground. Nice strong throw across the diamond by the third baseman, Dave Fence. That's the third out. Dave Spence it was. Third out here in the top of the fourth. We'll be back with the bottom half of this fourth inning. Ruben Chippick back out for his fourth inning of work. Going to be Parish Custang to lead things off. Big hello to Josh Allen watching online. Says, Eric is great for BP. Well, the Futures have had a little bit of a struggle so far. That pitch lifted right side, Bermuda Triangle style, off the glove of Miles Russell. Andrew Logue was singing his praises before on that double play. This time unable to execute with that fly ball. Tough chance, I know, but still should be made. Important to get the first out of an inning. Just tipping off the end of the glove. Maybe a ball for the right fielder, Will Delane. Custang will be aboard. I'll bring up Gary Coggan, singled up the middle in his last at bat. What time we start? 2:30, so we're into the second hour now. Sorry, 1:30. 2:37 now, so into the second hour of this 2-hour game. Hopefully I'll have plenty of time for my warm-up. Or our warm-up.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere till the game's ended.
Is that right?
That's right. That's what it says in your contract.
You don't pay me enough to hang around.
Oh, the decade's back.
No.
1 ball, no strikes to Gary Coggan. Chippick just stepping off the back, taking a minute to reassess the situation. Check over at first, but Custang only had a small lead. And that one hitting Gary Coggan, so he'll move up to first. The runners on first and second now for the Marlins, nobody out. That pitch ripped to through the hole on the left side. Parish Custang turns third, heads home. Pick up long throw by the left fielder. Won't be in time. Will be cut off by Ruben Chippick in the middle of the diamond. Sorry, Ruben Chippick. Second run here for the Marlins. They now lead 2-0 here. And Sean Shivers is going to come out and have a chat with Chippick.
Giving yourself some tongue twisters.
Yeah. It's not as if my lips are dry. Maybe they're too well lubricated. My tongue sticking. So meeting on the mound done. Yes, Josh Allen, he certainly strikes out a lot of people. Very deceptive on the mound is Eric Mina. Very rubber arm. Back to the top of the order for the Marlins. It's Ross Colahan. Ball deemed to be no good. So new ball will come in. No balls and 1 strike for Ross Colohan.
Yeah, right.
Swings and misses of that one downstairs. So Ruben Chippick gets the strikeout for the first out. I'll bring up Liam Spinks for the Marlins. Tripled in his last at bat. Scored the Marlins' first run. First run of the ball game. Pitch outside. Down the dirt, gets away from Ben Richards. Coggan and Mina both move up the extra 90 feet.
Camera's looking good today, Luke.
Just checking them all, mate.
Yeah. No, they didn't. No, I'm genuine. No, genuinely.
Huh?
They look good.
Yeah, they do. Look very sexy. That ball ripped into right field. Will Delane comes in, picks it up. Won't make any throw. So that'll be a single to Liam Spinks. There's a hard hit triple to the fence, and then a soft bloop into right field for a single. Getting it done anyway, every way possible.
That single scored Gary from third.
It did score Gary Coggan from third, so 3-0 now. Marlins. Futures don't want to get too far behind. Ben Richards unable to catch that simple pitch from Ruben Chippick. David Spence was showing bunt, and it was enough to put Ben Richards off. Trying to do too much at once. Liam Spinks goes from first to third. He was stealing second at the time and then moved up to third on the pass ball. Another run for the Marlins, now making it 4-0. Certainly making it very hard for this Futures team. Fouls that one off. David Spence. Futures looking for their first win of the year and take on the Warringah Big Dogs in next week's final round. Providing there's no rain, of course. We are due for rain. We play this week, get washed out next week. That's generally how it's been happening this season. Pitch is too high for David Spence. A ball, 2 balls and a strike now. Three and 1. That pitch away. Very warm day today here at the ballpark. Needing plenty of liquids to keep us hydrated. Only 27, feels like 29. Feels about 32. That pitch lifted into left field. It'll get down in front of the left fielder, Troy Withnell. So a single there for David Spence. Then Spinks comes in to score. It's now 5-0 to the Marlins. And that'll be all for Ruben Chippick. His afternoon will be done. Sean Shivers will come out and get him. And we'll see who he goes for here.
Looks like it's Will Delane.
Looks like it is Will Delane, providing that is still Will Delane out there in right field.
Oh, wait,
No, Will Delane's over at third base.
Ah, that's Ryan.
So it is Ryan Ego. Fortunately, we don't get the courtesy of changes coming up to the commentary box. So we've purely got to do it on who we see out in the field. And I didn't think it was Will Delane out there when the ball was hit out to him.
I didn't realise it changed.
Certainly was a bigger bodied person out there. Will Delane a very slim figure. Ryan Ego, a lot more built. So whilst Ryan takes his warm-ups, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back with the rest of the bottom of the fourth. Ryan Ego on the mound for the Manly Futures. He is facing Dan Cox. Had the sack fly in his last bat. Swings. Tries to put that into Chatswood, but he missed it. Strike one ball on the strike now.
Potential late arrival for the Futures. Over on your right-hand side, Luke. So Jared Cupp.
Jared Cupp, yeah, he is on the lineup. So another option for Sean Shivers. Jared Cupp called up to the 18s late in the week. Usual shortstop for the Futures. So Ryan Ego just missing the zone on his first three pitches. 3 balls and 1 strike. Todd Smith using his thumb there for the count. Making it a little bit confusing, but it is 3 balls and 1 strike. That's swung on a miss by Dan Cox. So Ryan Ego puts it where it couldn't be hit. It fills up the count. Dave Spence standing at third base. But it will be ball 4, so first batter Ryan Ego faces is a walk. Generally takes you a batter or two to get really accustomed to the mound. Let's hope for the Future's sake it's only a batter. And Ryan Ego can get Will Schaefer's Welsh maybe grounded to another double play.
Just want to give a quick shout out to the guys that have been up here working on the fields over the past few days. As you can see, Well, I hope you can see that they actually look very nice considering the rain that we have had over the last few days.
They are looking absolutely immaculate. Huge amount of work put in.
I know Joe Weller was the forest representative up here working on the field, especially A2 and A3.
He was up here for about 4 or 5 hours yesterday, scratching it, running the water off. Noel Markham as well, getting A1 playable for last night's Manly Senior League game and then the Manly Women's game. Manly Women's picking up a win in their final home game of the year. There's plenty of rain still forecast for today, but fingers crossed it holds off. And it holds off for about the next month. That's in there for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
No, strike 3.
Oh, strike 3. 1 ball. And then that was strike 3. So Ryan Ego found his groove for Will Sheffers Welsh. I'll bring up Ricky Butka. Stolen base there by Dave Spence just before the throw from Ben Richards, throwing from his knees. We have seen what happens when those throw a little bit wild. Won't bore you with the details. And this time Dan Cox will just dawdle up to second base. A throw from Ben Richards. So runners on second and third now for Ricky Butka. Swing and miss.
Interesting.
And pitch just missing on the outside corner. Now 3-0. And just as I say, he's found his control. He's lost it a little bit. 3 balls and no strikes now.
We got some aggressive base running over at second base. He's running almost out of our shot.
Big 3-0 hack there by Ricky Buchter. Maybe he's trying to get in the head of Ryan Ego and put him off. Get him to balk. Balk will score a run and move Dan Cox up to third base.
Full count. I thought it was 3-0, but no.
Look at that, you're finally wrong. That will be ball 4. Get away from Ben Richards. Won't be able to keep it. Flicks it back, but Dave Spence scores from third. Adds to this big inning here for the Marlins. It's their 5th run of this inning, 6th run for the ball game. Does bring up the catch-up, Parish Custang. Strike 1 called by Todd Smith. Umpires Todd Smith and Blake Brown from the Big Dogs. Teams on a roster umpiring roster rather, as part of the schedule. Everyone doing, I think, 4 or 5 appointments during the season. 1 ball and 1 strike now. Wild pitch there from Ryan Ego allows Dan Cox to score. just missing up and in. So 3-0 now.
3-1.
3-1 rather. A pitch called a strike. Gary Coggan.
Another one.
Ricky Bookter comes in to score on that wild pitch. Swing and a miss. One ball. No, 0-2 now. 1-2, sorry. Of course. Right, you go one pitch away from getting this inning finished. And the future is to start the big climb back up the mountain. Down in the dirt. 2-2. Misses down. Ball 3. So full count here for Gary Coggan. And that will be ball 4, so it is a walk. Sean Shivels will come out and have a quick chat to Ryan. We'll be back once that plate meeting, that meeting on the mound wraps up. So it was a pitching change for the Manly Futures. Not what Andrew Logue had predicted, but pretty close. Jared Cupp comes into the game. He goes to shortstop. And Jordan Nicholson comes to the mound. Starts Eric Mina with strike one. Ryan Ego is done for the day. He's out of this lineup. He'll be replaced by Jared Cupp in the batting lineup. So Jordan Nicholson, 2 pitches, 2 strikes. Looking for a big strike 3 for the third out here. Got second grade action over on Diamond 3. Looks like the Seasiders and the Redbacks second side. Jordan Cupp with the pick-up straight into the action and throws it across the diamond. And that's the third out here in the bottom of the fourth. So after 4 innings on the Procar Automotive scoreboard, it's the Pittwater Marlins 8, Manly Futures 0. So pitching change for the Marlins. The Marlins. Eric Mina is done. Gary Coggan comes to the mound. And taking Gary's place at first base will be Damien Spinks. 2 balls to the leadoff man, Will Delane. Ball 3 in there now. Big job here for the Futures. They're trailing 8-0 in the top of the 5th inning. That's in there for strike 1. So 3 balls and 1 strike now to the Futures. Third baseman now, I think he is, Will Delane. Swings and misses at that pitch from Gary Coggan. Feels the count up, 3-2. Important that the Futures get their leadoff man aboard. They want to mount a comeback here in the top of the 5th. Swings of that one, goes straight up the middle. Liam Spinks there with the retrieval. Will Delane has turned the corner. Interesting decision here, and he has called him out. So Liam Spinks with the good play there, getting around the base. Wasn't able to make a good throw, but Will Delane made the error of turning infield after he noticed that the throw got away from the first baseman, and Damien Spinks applies the tag, and that's going to be the first out here in the top of the 5th. With Jared Cupp now to bat. To 2-0 to Jared Cupp. Gary Coggan just missing down in the dirt. Now 3-0. Cupp gets after the 3-0 pitch, rips it into left field for a base hit. And the Futures have their first base runner, or their second base runner technically, but they have now a base runner standing on first base with 1 out. I'll bring up Tom Van Vessem, who was defensive change, and Jared Cupp's going to steal second. The Futures looking for 1 run here in the top of the 5th, in the hopes that they might be able to get 7 or 8 more. Van Vessem rips that one high, long run for the left fielder, but it will fall in between a couple of bodies out there. Ricky Butka coming in from left field, David Spence running back from third base. Good bit of contact there by Tom Van Vessem. Pops that one up. Liam Spinks will take it on the left-hand side of the diamond for the second out. Coggan was falling behind in the counts. He was able to get a fly ball for the second out after a running error by Will Delane for the first out. And I'll turn the lineup over to the Futures catcher, Ben Richards. I think this would be the last inning here 12 past 3. No new inning after 20 past 3. We'll have the third verse, fourth battle between the Forest Mets and the Warringah Big Dogs. As Ben Richards takes that on the rump. A big EBSN derby. That'll be a 4 o'clock first pitch. We'll have some guest commentators taking you through that one. How do you see the next game going, Andrew?
Well, I'll give you a professional answer. I think it'll be a very competitive game.
On the field, on the ground to the right side, second baseman picks it up, throws it over to Damien Spinks for the third out. That ends the top of the fifth inning. We'll be back with the Marlins batting in the bottom half when we return. Jordan Nicholson's still out on the mound for the Futures. And he is going to face Ross Colahan to start things off, the leadoff hitter for the Marlins. We're rudely interrupted then, Andrew. We're about to preview the next game. That ball hit in the soft grass on the infield, gets away from the first baseman over there, Ton Van Vessem. That'll be a hit to Ross Colahan. How do we see this one playing out? Second meeting of the teams this year. Big Dogs getting a close 2-1 victory in the previous encounter.
Yeah, it was a very competitive game last time we played. Good pitches duel. And I think will be a pretty similar game today. Not necessarily a pitches duel, but I just think a very close competitive game. Mets on, what are we, 3 on the trot now against Futures, Marlins and Redbacks.
Found a bit of form.
Yeah, which has been good for us. Good.
You're lucky to get that win against the Redbacks.
I disagree.
Or
I think we earned that win.
it was your left fielder that saved the game for you.
Mate, simple as that. Ball gets hit to you, you got to catch it.
It was a very good running effort in that game.
Yeah, that last batter though. I don't know if he was
smoked it. Absolutely smoked it.
Should have been struck out. Anyway, no, it should be a good competitive game today. I'm looking forward to versing you for your official team.
I know, right? My official team. One unofficial game against the Mets in that game for the Redbacks, where it was my hit that was caught in left field. Fist pumping up the first baseline. Who was the left fielder that caught that?
That was Sam Dodson.
Sam Dodson.
His, first season back playing
Liam
for a little
Spinks
while.
rips that ball foul down the third baseline, out of play.
Yes, his first season back playing from, I think juniors was the last time he played. So a good 10 odd years ago.
Really, that long?
Yeah, I think so. Give or take. So he's come back. He's absolutely loving it. He's been putting in the yards at training. I think we're the only team that train in the comp.
Dedication.
And,
We do a lot of training.
Yeah?
Yeah.
At the pub.
At the beach club on a Friday night.
There you go.
Yeah. Lots of recovery there too on the Saturday nights.
But yeah, he's definitely shown that he can.
Spinks goes into
what a
centre
hit.
field over the head of the centre fielder there, Ben Patfield. Long run to the fence for him. Liam Spinks is going to turn around second, head over the third for the second time today with the stand-up triple. This one has an RBI attached with it. RBI attached to it. Ross Colohan comes in to score. That's the 10th run of this ball game. No mercy rule in minor league. We'll play this one out. Well, both teams really need a win to stay in that top four. Just playing around with some numbers. The Marlins will have the win in this one. They will move to 500. Catch there made in left field by Troy Withnell. So the loser of, hey?
I believe Troy was the umpire in that Redbacks.
He was, yes, and I took full advantage of that.
Yeah.
Almost
Controversial.
a master stroke. And unfortunately, a good catch by Harry. Sam, sorry. I knew Harry wasn't the right. I just picked a name. Short-term memory.
Oh, yeah, 3v4.
Yep. Loser drops out of the fall.
Yeah, very likely.
Marlins will move to 500. Ripped down the first baseline, but fair. Bouncing off the first base. Tough play for Tom Van Vessem. Unlucky. David Spence. That's not David Spence. That's Dan Cox. So David Spence not batting.
Will you be passing on the message to your team how important this game is?
We already know how important this game is.
I know for a fact that my team does not look at the standings. That's my job. So
We've discussed it ad nauseum, the ramifications of the last 2 weeks of the season. We're quite happy for them to be rained out.
Oh yeah, because we went to Versi last week.
Yeah, we missed an opportunity there. And if it had rained this week and next week, and without any further rescheduling, the Mets and the Redbacks would have been locked into, the Mets and the Big Dogs would have been locked into the 4. Will Sheffers Welsh swings and misses at that one for strike 2.
From a neutral standpoint, though, to come down to the last 2 weeks, very
makes it very interesting. Although you do have a very hard task next week. I'm not saying that any game is impossible, but you're going to have to knock off the very hot Forest Renegades.
Well, I wouldn't mind Redbacks helping us out and getting a win tonight just to put them in a...
Yeah, like I said, no game's impossible,
Exactly.
but when you're borrowing 3 players to make the 9 tonight, I see the task probably a little bit too onerous from them, especially when you only have one pitcher. Troy Withnell taking that one. Dan Cox, too far off the line, but the ball won't get back to first in time. Blake Brown just standing in the middle of the diamond, shaking his head. Not even a safe signal. That'll be the first out here. In the bottom of the 5th. Very close play in the end. A lot closer than what I thought it was going to be and what I gave it credit for.
I'm very much hoping that the Mets are over there warming up and the big dogs are over here sitting down. So hopefully that's going to
Big dogs are doing their pre-game stretch routine at the moment. Lifted high into the air. Be a tough chance.
Will Delaney under it.
In the sun again, but this time the third baseman makes the catch, and that will end the ball game here. The Marlins with the 10-0 victory. They move into the 4, and they will potentially stay there regardless of the result in the next game. Ruben Chippick was good through 3. Eric Mina was just as good. Gary Coggan came out and closed out the game. Futures just couldn't get the bats going to get on the scoreboard. They had a couple of chances, but it wasn't to be. It'll be the Pittwater Marlins winning the first game of our triple header here today in the Manly Warringah Minor League first grade competition. We'll be back with Game 2 between the Warringah Big Dogs and the Forest Mets at 4 o'clock. So we'll see you then.
Come on, Mets.